It's time to start taking your financial security seriously. My name is Paul Vazquez with Tax Lab, and you need to become an ethical millionaire. I'll sit back down. Have you ever seen how in professional sports they do this thing where they'll record themselves playing the game and then they'll bring it back? They might even record themselves in practice. And they'll play back and they'll watch their performance. They'll watch their performance to see if there's places that they can improve. Now, if you took your financial stability, your financial security seriously, you could actually do the same thing. How? Well, that's where you have to have a tape recorder set up. Well, no, not really. You have to record. You have to record your financial data. We call this budgeting, spreadsheets, bookkeeping, but you have to record it. You can't go back and watch and analyze the moves that you made, the steps that you took, if you don't bother recording it. Sometimes your bank accounts can record this in a way, not maybe in detail. And some of these bank accounts are actually allowing you to begin to categorize things. So you can kind of get an idea maybe in some banks with their app as to what you're spending your money on. Give yourself a little bit of a review. If you get to the end of the game and you go, wow, we barely made it by, or we tied, or we lost, or we won, and you never go back to review it, and you don't have a coach who's doing that for you, you're going to have a hard time improving. You're going to have a hard time changing. And that's what's happening to you, is that you get to the end of every month, you go, wow, I made it through the month, but just by the skin of my teeth. Why does this keep happening to me? All right. So you're never going to know why unless you record how you played. And that's bookkeeping. That's budgeting. That's taking a record of it and then reviewing the record. And yes, you're going to learn that maybe you should be recording from a different angle or looking at different things and trying to make sure your cameras, so to speak, metaphorically, are set up in such a way that they're recording the right things that are going to help you understand how you're playing the money game and whether or not there aren't ways, small tweaks that you're capable of improving. You wouldn't get to the end of a game and go, wow, if only the other team had played worse, we could have won. Well, of course. Of course, if the other team played worse, you could have won. But that's not how you get better. That's not how you improve. You have to ask yourself, take a little bit of reflection and ownership of the way you played. And not go, oh, well, if the economy was different, or if this was different, or is that, yes, of course. If the world just, produced flowers in every step, you'd smell sweeter. But that's not reality. That's not how the world works. And a player who makes it to a new echelon of performance doesn't do so by just looking at the other team and saying, why didn't they perform worse? Or why didn't they perform in such a way that allowed me to win? All right? You have to go out there, take a little bit of responsibility, and look at the tape. You have to record, hit that record button, whatever it is you're doing, bookkeeping, budgeting, get a tool that can help you review how you did last month. Whether you win or lose, if you are wanting to get serious about being financially stable, you need to do the review. So that's how you're going to get better. And you got to take it seriously. I know. See, if you don't do it, right? If you don't look at the tapes, if you don't review it, then, well, you really didn't know any better. You really didn't know any better, so how could you? How could you do better if you don't know any better? Yeah, you can't. But it comes down to a choice. You can do better if you're willing to take on the responsibilities of looking at where your money is, looking at what happened last month. Where did you spend that money? How did it disappear out of your account? And then when you're about to go into that store and buy the extra ice cream or the the extra cup of coffee, maybe you can say, hey, instead of buying it at the store, maybe I'll make it at home, save a few little dollars. And it's not that, once again, it's not that the small thing is going to make you a millionaire. It's practice, right? When you dribble, that just dribbling a ball isn't going to make you win the championship, right? Just throwing the ball or catching the ball isn't going to help you win the championship by itself. So you practice. You practice the small moves. So that way when the game comes, when things are serious, you don't have to think anymore about the small moves. You're ready to make the big moves. You can do this if you want to. But you have to be willing to put in the practice. You have to be willing to put in the effort. And every month, you get a chance to practice at being better off than you were the previous month. You get that opportunity, but you're not taking it. I wish you would. I really do. I wish you would take that opportunity. Now, for those who are able to, we have a professional service. Here you can subscribe here, like, comment, and I'll do my best to answer small questions. I'm not going to do a full-on personal diagnostic for someone who just leaves a comment. That's the professional service. Here I give you little tidbits, inspire you to get to the point to where you can take it to the next level above that. You have to be somebody who's willing to do the work. If you're not willing to do the work, you're going to get frustrated. I'm going to get frustrated, and nobody's going to make any type of headway. So I need people who are willing to do the work to come to me, not people who need me to help them get the desire. That's what these videos are for. That's what these videos are for. We don't get the desire to improve once we've signed up. These videos, subscribing here, this is to help energize you, give you something to think about, so that way you can start taking some baby steps. So we are going to be launching a community with a financial concierge. So we're going to be launching that soon. And so this is kind of a step down from the professional service. The professional service is very much, we do as much as we can for you. As much as you can afford us to do for you, we do it for you. The financial concierge with community is the do-it-yourself with assistance. So in the community, I'm putting together different protocols that you can follow through and learn how to do this stuff for yourself. And then you have a financial concierge who you can kind of touch base with, and they'll say, oh, well, you need this module or that class, or hey, maybe it's time you just pay for an hour of assistance on this one little topic. So they're going to be there to kind of help guide you on where to get the right resources. You're going to have a community where you can work with other people in that community. Some of them are going to be millionaires. Some of them are on their way. That's the point. So we can have that community in there, and you guys can kind of give each other a few hints and tips there. And then I'm going to be putting in these classes to kind of help you progress in the financial game. So it's not as expensive as our professional service. It's the do-it-yourself with assistance. But we still want to have that talk with you in the beginning, free 15-minute introductory phone call where we kind of can help see where exactly you should start your journey from where you are right now. I wish you guys all the success.